The thing that runs my whole business isn't a model, it's a folder. 98 skills, 378 memories, 190 pages of notes sitting on this laptop, getting bigger every day I work. And here's the part nobody tells you. Every piece of that folder already has a name. Harness, loop engineering, evals. You've heard those words all week, and not one person has shown you which part of your own setup they point at. They're not 4 technologies, they're 4 blocks in one picture. And once you can see the picture, you can point straight at the block yours is missing. Nothing to install, no code, no new subscription, 4 ideas and a folder you already have. So we build the picture from empty, 1 block at a time. Memory, harness, loop, evals, and I'll show you what breaks when you skip one. Let's go. Start with the smallest thing that exists. You type a question, you hit enter, you get an answer back. That's it. That's one run, and a run is the only thing the model actually does. Everything else you're about to see gets built around it. Now, watch what's wrong with that. You ask, you get your answer, and the second that answer lands, the whole thing empties out. Tomorrow you come back, you ask the follow-up, and you're talking to something that has never met you. You explain your business again. You explain how you like things written again. You paste the same context in again. Most people decide that's just how this works. So they build a habit around it, a giant prompt they keep in a note somewhere and repaste every single morning. That prompt is you doing the machine's job by hand. Every block we add from here is the machine taking one of those jobs back off you. So let's give it something to hold. The first block is the one you're already using without naming it, and it's called working memory. Picture a desk. Whatever is on the desk right now is what the model can see. Your question, the last few things you said, and a set of standing instructions about how to behave. That's the whole desk. It is not a filing cabinet. It's a desk and it has an edge. Push too much onto it and things slide off the far side quietly with no error message. This is the most misunderstood thing about working with AI. When your assistant suddenly gets dumber halfway through a long session, nothing broke. The desk filled up and the earliest thing you told it went over the edge, which means a bigger desk is not the fix people think it is. What you actually want is a way to put things down somewhere else and pick them back up on purpose, which is the second block. Off to the side of the desk, you put 3 drawers, not one big memory, 3, and they hold genuinely different things. The first drawer is how you want things done. Your writing voice, the steps you take before you publish anything, the rule you keep having to repeat in plain terms, instructions written once in a file, in ordinary sentences, not code. If you've heard the word skill thrown around lately, this drawer is the whole idea. A skill is not a plugin, and it isn't magic. It's a page of instructions your assistant is allowed to go and read when the job matches. I've got 98 of them. Almost none of them are loaded at any given moment because almost none of them are needed, and that is the point. It reaches for the one page the job calls for, does the job that way, and puts it back. Second drawer, this one is facts, durable ones about you, who you are, what you sell, what you tried in March that didn't work, what your numbers actually are. The model was trained on most of the internet and it still doesn't know one single thing about your business, and it never will because your business wasn't on the internet when it learned. That gap isn't a flaw, it's just the shape of the thing. So you hand it the fact, and the part that matters is where they live, not inside the model, in files you own that you can open, read, and correct when they go stale. So when something changes, a price, a goal, a person leaving, you fix one line and every conversation from that second onward is right. Nobody has to remember to mention. Nobody repastes anything. The correction just holds. Third drawer, and this is the one almost everybody skips. It's what happened with a date on it, not instructions, not facts, events, what you asked for on Tuesday, what got decided, what got tried and thrown away. On its own, that sounds like a diary nobody reads, so here's why it matters. Facts tell your assistant what's true right now. Events tell it how you got here, and how you got here is the thing that stops it cheerfully suggesting the exact idea you already ruled out last month. Now, it never reads all of it. It reaches for the handful of entries that match what you're doing today, the way you'd flip to 1 week in a notebook instead of reading the notebook. 200 entries in the drawer, 3 come out. That's the whole trick. The drawer can be enormous as long as what it hands over stays small. All right, desk 3 drawers. Now the word everybody's using, harness, it's a horse word. The straps and the reins you put on an animal that is genuinely stronger than you are. So all that power ends up going where you point. Notice that nothing about a harness makes the horse smarter. That's the whole idea, and it's why the word is the right one. A model is powerful and it is loose. It'll guess, it'll wander off, it'll be confidently wrong, and it does all of that at speed. The harness is every piece you build around it so the power lands where you wanted it. So look at the picture so far. The desk, the 3 drawers, and the wiring that decides what gets pulled onto that desk before the model ever sees a word. That is a harness. You have probably built half of one already and never called it that. But a drawer nobody writes to is just decoration. So here's the piece people skip, and it is the whole difference between a system that gets better and a system that just sits there. After a run finishes, something has to go back and write. Every run leaves something behind. What happened and any fact worth keeping. The events go in as they are, in order with the date on them. The facts need one more step because 1,000 conversations about the same thing should not become 1,000 entries. So every so often, a small cheap pass reads the pile, notices the same thing keeps coming up, and writes it down once if as a fact. Now, the drawer isn't a graveyard. It's a memory that compounds. Mine has 378 facts in it. Most of them I never typed. They got written at the end of a job that was already finished. Now the machine stops talking and starts doing. Up to here, everything has been reading. This block is where it gets hands, a short list of things it is allowed to actually go and do. Send the message, move the file, look up something that happened after it was trained, change the row, and the moment you add that list, the shape of the whole thing changes because a run is no longer question, answer, done. It becomes think, do something, look at what came back, think again, which is exactly how you work. You don't answer a real question in one shot either. You go and check something, and what you find changes what you do next. Give a model a list of actions and it starts working the same way. That's the good news. It's also the exact moment this thing gets genuinely dangerous, and the next block is the reason why. Because now it can go around again and again. That's the loop. And loop engineering, the phrase is just this: deciding how it goes around and deciding when it stops. Stopping is the hard half. A person knows when a job is done. A model does not. Inherently, without a rule, it will either quit while the job is still half finished or keep going, spending your money on something that was actually finished 4 steps ago. So you write the ending down before you start. Done looks like this. Try this at most 3 times. If you're still stuck, stop and come ask me. That last one is worth building today, honestly. If you have ever come back after half an hour and found the thing sitting there waiting on a yes it asked for 29 minutes ago, that's a missing stop rule and it cost you the half hour. A loop with no written ending isn't autonomy, it's just something running. So the machine runs, it remembers, it acts, it knows when to quit. Here's the question none of those blocks can answer. Is it any good? And you cannot eyeball that because you only ever see the runs you happen to be watching. So the last block, write down what happened on every run, whether you were there or not. What got asked, what it reached for, what it did, how long it took, what it cost. That record is the whole thing. Evals, tracing, the ops word, all of it is built on top of a record most people are simply not keeping. Once you have it, 2 questions get answers instead of opinions. Was that any good? Did it actually do the job? And was it healthy? Did it take 20 seconds when it should take 2? Did it burn a fortune on a question that needed 1 lookup? Good and healthy are different things, and a system can fail either one on its own. and then the part that makes this a loop instead of a report. You look at the bad runs and you find where it went wrong, and it's almost never the model. It's a drawer you never filled. It's an instruction that says two things at once. It's a stop rule that fires too early, small fixes in files in plain English. Then you make the change, run the same job again, and check the record. If it got better, you keep it. If it got worse, that's information too, and you paid almost nothing to find out. That's the second loop, the slow one, running around the outside of everything else. The fast loop gets today's job done. The slow loop makes tomorrow's version better than today's. A system with only the fast loop is the one that feels amazing in week 1 and exactly the same in week 10. So here it is, all of it, a desk, 3 drawers, how, what's true, and what happened. Wiring that fills the desk before the model reads a word. A short list of things it's allowed to do. A rule for when it stops. And a record of every run feeding fixes back in. That's the picture. Harness is the straps. The loop is going around. Evals are the record. 4 words, 1 machine, and now you can point at yours. So go look at your own setup and find the missing block. Most people have a desk and nothing else. Some have brilliant instructions and no record at all, so they have no idea whether any of it is working. Mine started as 1 file and it's a folder now because I kept adding 1 block at a time. If you want to hang out with other people building this stuff, our community is linked in the description. And watch this one next. It's the folder itself and what's actually inside it. Click it right there.